moment of getting underway. We get set for this evening's contest. Here are your starting line. Okay. Starting with the guests, the Knights from Central Catholic High School. Leading it off for Central Catholic and pitching number 10, Lucas Perky. Batting second, playing second base, number 12, Alex Schumer. In the 3 spot, playing shortstop, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Hitting cleanup, playing first base, number 33, DJ Gilkey. In the 5 hole, the DH, number 3, Jackson Kane. He'll be hitting for the catcher, number 7, Cooper Renbeck. Batting 6th, playing left field for the Knights, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. In the 7th spot, number 28, the third baseman, Tatum Adriano. Batting 8th, playing center field, number 25, Vince Talenko. And batting 9th, playing right field, number 5, Colton Minnick. Head coach for Central Catholic Knights is Mr. Tim Bourdonnais. And now, Big Red fans, here are the starters for your own Twin Lakes High School Indians. Leading it off for Twin Lakes, playing third base, number 2, Cooper Dold. Batting second will be the center fielder, number 27, Mason Brummett. Hitting third, the shortstop, number 6, Carson Wagner. In the cleanup spot, catcher, number 28, Aiden Holly. Batting fifth, playing second base, number 33, Peyton Houchin. In the 6th spot will be the pitcher, number 14, Austin Robertson. Batting 7th, the DH, number 48, Aiden Garcia. He'll be hitting for first baseman, number 3, Tate Goyer. Batting 8th, playing right field, number 10, Judd Gorton. And batting 9th, the left fielder, number 9, Josh Crowell. Head coach for your Twin Lakes Indians is Mr. Jake Burton. Your umpires for this evening's contest behind the plate, Mr. Scott Mason, and on the bases, Mr. Eric Erb. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask, if you're not already, please stand and face the American flag out in right field. Remove your headgear. Keeping your hearts and minds our servicemen and women stationed throughout the world, particularly those stationed in harm's way. Remember our veterans and first responders everywhere, and join in honoring the United States of America as we play our national anthem. God bless the USA.
That's our national anthem. That is Mr. Butch Kramer. He is the PA announcer here at Twin Lakes High School. We welcome you, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to today's education-based IHSAA Varsity Boys baseball game. This radio coverage is made possible through audiosportsonline.net. That's ASO, Rob Kendall. Rob Kendall from The Kendall and Casey Show. Weekday mornings, 9 to noon, 93.1. SWIBC.com. Today's game features the Central Catholic Knights as they travel, do battle with the Twin Lakes Indians. Baseball on a Tuesday. They'll get together again tomorrow Tomorrow, the game will be at Central Catholic, and they're getting warmed up on the field right now. We'll mention a little bit about each team. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll mention around the diamond for Twin Lakes. Doing the pitching in today's ball game is Austin Roberts, wears number 14. Doing the catching, his battery partner, it's Aiden Hawley. Aiden Hawley, he wears number 28. First baseman, Tate Goyer, wears number 3. At second base, Peyton Houchin, wears number 33. At shortstop, it's Carson Wagner, wears number 6. At third base, Cooper Dold, wears number 2. In left field, number 9, that's Josh Crowell. In center field, number 27, Mason Brummett. And in right field, number 10, Judd Gordon. The DH in the ball game to start out for Twin Lakes, number 48, Aiden Garcia. And I will mention batting for him, I should say, in the field, playing defensively for Aiden Garcia, going to be number 3, 7-hitter, Tate Goyer. He'll play first base. Starting lineup, we're going to bat like this for Central Catholic. Central Catholic going to send to the plate. First batter, going to be the leadoff batter in today's ball game, number 10, Lucas Gerke. He'll do the pitching. Batting second will be number 12, Alex Schumer. He'll play second base. Batting third, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. He'll play shortstop. Batting fourth will be number 33, DJ Gilkey. He'll play first base. Batting fifth, number 3, Jackson Kane. He'll do the DHing. And Cooper Renback will be the catcher. He'll wear number 7. Sixth batter, 41, Tatum Adriano. He'll play third base. Eighth hitter will be 25, Vince Talenko. He'll play center field. And the ninth batter will be number 5, Colton Minnick. He'll play right field. First pitch of the ball game, 5:48 p.m. Foul. I should take that. I'm going to take the opposite way. They go to left field. Going to get over the head of left fielder Josh Crowell. And he's going to stand up double. First pitch of the ball game. Lucas Gerke gets himself aboard. So one aboard. Next batter going to step in for the Knights, number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, where he'll play second base. And Lucas Gerke going to get rid of that apparatus. He'll jog back to second base, looking for signals. Third base coach, Tim Bordnay, he'll step in, left-handed batter. A little bit of an open stance. Pitching from the stretch is Austin Roberts. He'll check second base out of the set position. First pitch low. Good block by the catcher, Aiden Hawley. Taking third base on the misplayed baseball is Gerke. He'll end up at third base. So Alex Schumer, no, 1 ball, no strikes. We'll mention all the players up on the screen in each dugout. Twin Lakes occupying the third base dugout. Central Catholic, the first base dugout. Working out the stretch, now the set. Austin Roberts, foul ball, right side. Got around early there. Schumer, count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, top of the first inning, just getting underway. They thought they'd start it 15 minutes earlier, and they were pretty much right on time. Working out the stretch, now the set. Roberts, here's the pitch. Swung on, foul ball the other side of the line. Third base side, going to be gloved there by third baseman Cooper Dold. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Schumer going to step back in. 1 runner aboard at third base, Lucas Gerke. Out of set position, here's the pitch from Roberts. Another foul ball, pulled it foul again. Schumer getting around on that off-speed pitch. Count remains 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Working from the stretch, peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts out of set. Here's the pitch. Going to foul 1 straight back to the screen. Trying to protect the dish. Successful on that. It's a 1-2 count once again. Austin Roberts going to look in at the catcher. He'll step in the rubber. Peer in, look at signals from Aiden Hawley. Out of set position. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Good block once again in the dirt. Hawley kept it in front of him laterally. Played it to his left. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Roberts out of the set. He'll check third base. Here's the pitch. They're going to foul another one. Out of play. Left side. Going to float this one out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. At the plate, number 12. They're going to ask for that baseball. They're going to get it back in play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Left-handed batter. Ball's made live. He'll peer in, look at signals. Austin Roberts. He'll step off the back of the rubber. He'll reset. He'll wipe the perspiration possibly off that right hand on the jersey. Out of the set. Here comes a 2-2. Foul ball around home plate. Little dribbler. Alex Schumer. Multiple foul balls in this at bat. Count remains 2-2. He'll step back in, left-handed batter's box. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Austin Roberts out of the set. He'll check third. Here comes a 2-2 again. Low in the dirt. Good block once again by Holly. Count goes full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Stepping back in. Alex Schumer. Working from the stretch, now the set. He'll check third base. Here comes a 3-2. He's going to take one to center field. It's going to back up the center fielder. That's Brummett. Going to get over his head. He's going to pick it up at the warning track. And Alex Schumer going to end up at second base with an RBI double. Ball's still loose on the diamond, but they're going to be caught there by the catcher, Aiden Holly. And Schumer will stop at second base. Next batter going to step in for the Knights, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Stapleton going to play shortstop in today's ball game. Runner at second base is Alex Schumer. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, looking for signals. Mikey Stapleton. A few signals given by Coach Bourdonnais. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch, Austin Roberts. He'll check second base a couple of times. Here's the pitch. Going to foul one back to the screen. Just under the baseball. Count goes 0-1. Jackson Kane going to retrieve that. He's on deck. He'll be the 4-hitter. He'll step back in. Straightaway stance. Mikey Stapleton out of the set position. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch just missed inside. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner aboard second base is Schumer out of the set position. He'll check second base. Check it again. Here's the pitch from Roberts. He's going to drive one to left field. He's going to end up right over second, a shortstop, just in front of left fielder, Josh Crowell. He'll get a single. Staying put at second base is Schumer. Next batter in the lineup going to be the 4-hitter. Take that back. Jackson Kane going to bat in the 5th spot. And at the plate now is 33, DJ Gilkey. Gilkey plays first base, and he'll bat left-handed. Working in, peering in, out of the set position. Austin Roberts, he'll check second. Here's the pitch. Foul ball right side, just right of first base on the ground. Count goes 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Knights batting in the top of the 1st inning. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Austin Roberts. He'll step off the back. He'll reset. He'll look for the signals again. Peering in and out of the stretch. Roberts checks second base. Here's the pitch. Outside, a ball. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 runners on base for the Knights, first and second base. He'll step back in. A little bit of an open stance. At the plate, DJ Gilkey out of the set. Roberts, he'll check second. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stepping back in, peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts. Out of the set. Check second base. Here's the pitch. He's going to drive one to the outfield. He's going to go airborne. Backing up is a shortstop. They're going to let it drop there in between the shortstop, left fielder, and center fielder. Nobody took control of it to make the catch. So going back to first base, it's going to be a single off the bat of DJ Gilkey. Knights have 3 aboard, first, second, and third. Nobody out here in the top of the 1st inning. Next batter going to step in is the 5-hitter, number 3, Jackson Kane. He'll be the DH to start the ball game. He'll bat in place of defensive player, catcher, number 7, Cooper Renback. Out of the set, checks third base. Here's the pitch from Roberts. Swing and a miss. Count goes 0-1 to Jackson Kane. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts. Where's number 14? Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Just missed above the zone. Count goes 1-1. Austin Roberts. He is a sophomore. He's an infielder and a right-handed pitcher. Out of the set. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in. Strike called. Count goes 0-2. 0-2 to Jackson Kane. Austin Roberts, 5'9", listed at 155 pounds. He'll peer in, look at signals. Austin Roberts, they're out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Inside and low, going to short hop the glove, going to get back to the backstop. Coming in to score from third base is Alex Schumer. Runners move up 90 feet. Count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson Kane out of the box. He's going to look for signals. He'll step back in. Runners at second and third base. 2-2 count. Jackson Kane. Peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside, breaking pitch. Just miss outside. Good stop there by Holly. Pretty good break. Pretty good breaking pitch for Austin Roberts. He'll step back in. Kane, 3-2 count. Peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts out the set. Checks third. He's going to play at third base. Tall throw. Going to get over the glove of Cooper Dold. Going to go into foul territory down near the bullpen area. And Knights are going to score 2. And they're coming in to score for the Knights is Mikey Stapleton and DJ Gilkey. And nobody on base. 3-2 count to Jackson Kane. He'll step in. Jackson Kane, right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Austin Roberts out of set position. Here comes the pitch. You're going to take one floater. Going to go shallow center field. Going to be called for by the second baseman. Just off the glove. He was left side of second base. Trying to make the play. That was Peyton Houchin. Just off the glove. And Kane makes it safe to first base. Reach on air. Sun is shining. Sun might have been a factor in that play. So stepping into bat, right-handed batter. Number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Playing left field. Working out of the stretch, out of the set position. Austin Roberts, here's the pitch. Just low, ball 1. Good glove. Holly, the catcher. 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out. He'll take signals from Bourdonnais. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking over at first base is Austin Roberts. Out of the set, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Good block there. Holly kept it out in front of him. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Looking for signals. Third base. Stepping back in, 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Shallow lead, short lead for Kane at first base. Very modest. Out of the set position, Roberts, here's the pitch. You're going to take one to right field. Coming in to try to make the play. You're going to land right in front of right fielder, Jed Gorton. And it'll drop a fair ball and a base hit off the bat of Van Kirk. Next batter for the Knights with 1 aboard, going to be the 7-hitter, number 28, Tatum Adriano, third baseman. Right-handed batter steps in. Runners at first and second base for the Knights. Peering in, looking at signals. Out the stretch, now the set. Check second base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Tatum Adriano goes down the count 0-1. He'll step out of the box, look for signals. Very few given. Runners at first and second base. Nobody out, top of the first inning. Out of the set. Check second base a couple of times. Squaring to bunt early is Adriano. Time is going to be, they're going to call a balk. Butch Kramer saw that one. So they're going to walk to the bases. They'll go 90 feet forward. And now the Knights have runners at second and third. Coach Bourdonnais going to have a little bit of a conversation with Tatum Adriano. Adriano going to jog back to home plate. Runners at second and third base. Top of the first inning. Austin Roberts steps back in the rubber. He'll peer in, look at signals. From Holly, out of the set. Here's the pitch. Just misses outside a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Checking signals, steps back in the rubber, does Austin Roberts. He wears number 14, sophomore pitcher for the Indians. Pitch comes in, swing and a miss. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter's box. Peering in, looking at the signals. Adriano out of the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Back to the screen. Foul ball. Count remains 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at the signals. Austin Roberts. Long peer. Now out of the set. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He'll jog to first base, try to sprint to first base, but the baseball was cleaned by catcher Aiden Holly. There's 1 out here in the top of the first. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. It's going to be number 25, 8-hitter, Vince Talenko. He'll play center field in today's ball game. He'll step in, right-handed batter's box. Runners at second, third, out of the set, Roberts. Pitch comes in, top of the zone, strike called. No balls, 1 strike. He'll step back in. 25, Vince Talenko, out of the set. Austin Roberts, here's the pitch. Going to be a ground ball, shortstop. Going to be fielded right there. He'll throw it to first base. It's going to be an RBI off the bat. Vince Talenko, run comes in to score. Jackson Kane. But they'll get the put out. Second to first. That's Peyton Houchin to Tate Goyer. There are 2 outs. Stepping in, 9-hitter, number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick playing right field in today's ball game. Out of set position. Roberts, here's the pitch. Low for a ball. Good block once again by Aiden Holly. So we'll step out of the box, look for signals. He'll step back in. Colton Minnick, the batter, right-handed batter for the Knights. He's playing right field. Out of the set position, Austin Roberts, here's the pitch. He's going to swing full swing. Going to pop one up right side of the infield. It's going to be called for. Going to come in to make the catch is the right fielder. Came in a long way. That's Judd Gorton. Records the 3rd out. And the Knights are out of the inning. We'll mention 5 runs in the top of the first for the Knights. Twin Lakes Indians coming to the plate to bat. And we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll mention a little bit about each school. We'll talk about the visiting team, Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. They're Class 2A, Sectional 37. There are 7 in their sectional. In their sectional, Benton Central, Delphi Community, Lafayette Central Catholic, North Montgomery, Rensselaer Central, Seeger, Western Boone. Lafayette Central Catholic High School is located at 2410 South 9th Street, Lafayette, Indiana, 47909. Reach them by phone at 765-474-2496. On the web, it's lccathletics.com. They wear the collars navy and white. They perform in the Hoosier Conference. Their principal is Daryl Beck. The athletic director is Tim Bourdonnais. The coach is Tim Bourdonnais. He's a 1987 graduate from Central Catholic. Now the home team on the scoreboard, that's the Twin Lakes Indians. Twin Lakes Indians are Class 3A, Sectional 23. 7 in their sectional, and they are Logansport, Maconaquah, Northwestern, Peru, Twin Lakes, West Lafayette, Western. Twin Lakes High School is located at 300 South 3rd Street. That's Monticello, Indiana, 47960. You can dial them up by phone at 574-583-7108. On the web, it's tlschools.org. They wear the collars red and white, and they also perform in the Hoosier Conference. Their principal is Melissa Whitehead. Their athletic director is Dan Seltz. Dan Seltz, also athletic director at Roosevelt Middle School. And we'll mention the head coach for the Twin Lakes Indians is none other than Jake Burton. So that's the Knights and that's the Indians. And we do thank you for tuning in. We'll go around the diamond with the Knights. Doing the pitching today is Lucas Gerke. Lucas Gerke wears number 10. His battery partner, the catcher, number 7, Cooper Renback. At first base, DJ Gilkey, number 33. Second base, Alex Schumer, number 12. Shortstop, Mikey Stapleton, number 11. Third base, Tatum Adriano, 28. Left field, Brennan Van Kirk, 41. Center field, Vince Talenko, 25. And in right field, number 5, Colton Minnick. As mentioned, Jackson Kane will start the game as the DH. Stepping in, first batter of the lineup. Bottom of the first inning, going to be number 2. That's Cooper Dold. Cooper Dold playing third base in today's ball game. Batting right-handed. Working from the windup, Lucas Gerke. First pitch, strike called, fastball. No balls, 1 strike. Cooper Dold in the batter's box for the Indians. Here comes the second pitch. Full swing. Going to be a base hit off the glove of first baseman. Right there. That was DJ Gilkey. That was a shot on the ground. Probably going to go in the book as a base hit. Would you agree, Butch? Base hit? Base hit off the bat of the leadoff batter, Cooper Dold. Stepping into bat, Mason Brummett. He wears number 27. Don't want to talk too much about a kid's brother, but Mason Brummett, his brother, graduated. What a player. Left-handed batter, Mason Brummett. Pitch comes in, a ball inside. Give me a stolen base, stand-up stolen base. Ball does go into center field. Finally picked up there by Vince Talenko. So runner at second base for Twin Lakes is Cooper Dold. Stepping back in, 1 ball, no strikes. Mason Brummett. Left-handed batter's box, working out a stretch. Now the set, he'll check second base. Lucas Gerke, here's the pitch. Inside a ball. Fastball. Inside, count goes 2-0. 2 balls. No strikes. Batting in the bottom of the first inning, Twin Lakes Indians. Peering in, looking at signals. Lucas Gerke. Now out of the set position, he'll check second base. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Stepping back in, Mason Brummett. Mason Brummett, sophomore athlete. Out of the set, check second base a couple of times. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball. Just missed outside. Home plate umpire, definitely a veteran. 3 balls, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the set. Check second base. Here's the pitch. Going to be a ground ball. Third base. Gets by the glove of third baseman Adriano. Not much of a play there. Backhands it at shortstop. Couldn't make the clean play. That was Mikey Stapleton. Another base hit on the infield. So runners at first and third base for Twin Lakes. Base hit off the bat of Mason Brummett. Stepping in, 3-hitter. Number 6, Carson Wagner. He's playing the shortstop position. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. He'll check first base. Out of the set, pickoff move. First base, nonchalant throw. Back safely is Brummett. Stepping back in, Carson Wagner. Carson Wagner, shortstop. Where's number 6, right-handed batter. Out of the set, he'll check third base. He'll throw back to first base. A good play there. Nearly got him. Safe at first is Brummett. Diving back in, head first. Try to make that 31 move in a short fashion there. Out of set position. He'll check first base. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in just above the zone. Wagner, staying in the box for 3 pitches, have have taken one pitch. Count goes 1-0. Two pickoff attempts for Gerke out of a set position. Pickoff move, first base, back safely. Head first, Brummett. Runners on the corners. First and third base. Working out the stretch. Now the set position. A check first base. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be a strike called. They're taking off for second base. No throw available. Renback had to clean that baseball, pick it back up. By that time, Brummett at second base. Runners at second and third base. Nobody out. Bottom of the first inning. Time called. Renback wants to jog out. Talk to Lucas Gerke. We do thank you for tuning in. And we'll mention this game is in part being brought to you by McCormick Printing. Before we dive back into action, we want to spotlight a business that's been printing success in our community for 50 incredible years. That's McCormick Printing and Impressions. So we'll finish that in a moment. Stepping back in the rubber. Lucas Gerke, peering in, looking at signals. Wagner in the batter's box. Runners at second and third. Here comes the pitch. Low for a ball. Good block. Good block. Cooper Renback. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Steps back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Lucas Gerke. Long pier. Out of set. He'll check third base. Here comes the pitch. Chest inside. Might have been a touch high. Count goes 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Right-handed batter, Carson Wagner. Working out of the stretch, peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set position, Gerke. Checks third base. Here's the pitch. You're going to foul one right side, out of play. Count goes full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Lucas Gerke, peering in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Might have shook one off. He'll go to set position. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. It's going to call him out. Breaking pitch. Going to say it got the dish. So he'll walk back to the dugout. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Next batter going to step in. Going to be the 4-hitter. Aiden Holly. Where's number 28? Doing the catching in today's ball game. Bit of an open stance. He'll close on the approach. Gives him good vision of the pitch. Out the set. Checks third base. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball. Going to get by the glove of Renback. Coming in to score from third base is Cooper Dold. Cooper Dold in to score the first run for the Twin Lakes Indians. 1 ball, no strikes. Right-handed batter, Aiden Holly. He'll step back into that open stance. Runner at third base. Runner at third base is Mason Brummett for the Indians. Out of the set position. Checks third base. Here's the pitch. Outside half. Knee high. Called strike. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Gerke. Now out of the set. He'll check third base. They're not playing him at third base, playing defensively. Breaking pitch comes in there for a strike. Count goes 1-2. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter's box. Peering in, looking at signals. Lucas Gerke. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Right back to the pitcher. Gerke's going to field it. He'll look at third. He'll throw to first. They'll get the put out. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. 1 run in so far. Going to step into bat. 33, Peyton Houchin. Peyton Houchin, 5-hitter. Plays second base. Right-handed batter's box. Peering in, looking at signals. Lucas Gerke. Out of the set. He'll check third base. Here's the first pitch to Houchin. He'll take one right back up the middle. Base hit to center field. Going to drop in 1 hop in the glove of Vince Talenko. And Houchin gets himself aboard with a single and an RBI. 2 runs in for Twin Lakes. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Looking for signals in the batter's box is number 14, Austin Roberts. Austin Roberts doing the pitching for Twin Lakes. Out of the set position. Gerke, pickoff move, first base. About a C-plus move with nonchalant back safely. At first base is Peyton Houchin. He'll get a modest lead. He won't cross over his feet. Pretty good way to go. Out of the set position. Gerke, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, just misses. Low. And off the glove of Renback, laterally to his right. Picks it back up. Back in the rubber is Lucas Gerke. Long pier. He'll look at first base. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Might have been off speed. Not much of a break. Could be maybe a slider or something of that fashion. He'll step back in the rubber. In the batter's box, Austin Roberts. Out of the set position. Here's the pitch. Going to be a ground ball. Base hit. Going to get through the hole there at second and first base. And picked up in right field by Colton Minnick. Runners at first and second base, 2 out. Bottom of the first inning, 2 runs in for Twin Lakes. 5-2 contest. Steps in, right-handed batter's box. Tate Goyer. Tate Goyer, where's number 3? First baseman. Take that back. It's Aiden Garcia, yes. DH, where's number 48? He'll foul the first one back to the screen, right side. The DH in the ballgame is Aiden Garcia. He's batting in place of defensive player number 3, Tate Goyer. Goyer's playing first base in the ballgame. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch, now the set. Gerke will check second base. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Count goes 0-2. He'll step back in. Aiden Garcia, right-handed batter's box. Peering in, looking at signals. Shook one signal off. Out of the set, he'll check second. Check it again. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He'll go down on strikes. And the Knights are out of the inning. We'll mention in the inning. Twin Lakes comes up with 2 at the end of 1. It's a 5-2 contest. We'll go to the top of the second inning. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Honey Creek Resort. What a beautiful place to be. Plan your vacation or maybe a weekend getaway. Honey Creek Resort, with 840 acres of fantastic nature, fun, and recreation adventures, are only 1 day's drive away. That's Honey Creek Resort in southern Iowa, where fellow Hoosiers Beth and Terry Henderson have an outstanding lodge and cabins with fabulous fishing, boating, golfing, horse carriages, and much, much more. Truly amazing adventures and hospitality await you at honeycreekresort.com. Make your group, business, and family getaway reservations today. Call them at 641-724-1450. Again, call them at 641-724-1450. That's Honey Creek Resort in Iowa. Taking some warm-up tosses back on the hill is Austin Roberts. Austin Roberts, as mentioned, sophomore athlete. He enters today's ballgame with 3 1/3 innings. This is his second appearance. Entering the ballgame, he had only walked 2 batters, and he struck out 1. And I will mention he had faced 18 batters entering this ballgame. Stepping into bat here in the top of the second inning is the pitcher, number 10, Lucas Gerke. First pitch from Roberts. Short hops the glove, ball 1. Kept it in front of him, Aiden Holly. Left-handed batter's box. Lucas Gerke steps back in, working from the windup. Austin Roberts, here comes the pitch. Short hops the glove. Ball 2, count goes 2-0. Top of the second inning, beautiful place to be. Grass looks beautiful. Here comes a wind and the pitch. Be a ground ball foul right side. First base going to be fielded by A.J. Bourdonnais. Stepping back in the rubber. Going to adjust, manicure the rubber there. They work from the windup. Glove in front of the chest. Here comes the 2-1. Going to take one the other way, left field. Going to get a beat on it. Catching it about where he was playing. Left fielder Josh Crowell. There's one out here in the top of the second. Stepping into bat. Again, 2-hitter number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, second baseman. Schumer a year ago got in 14 ball games for the Knights. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, ground ball. Second base, fielded right there by Peyton Houchin. He'll throw it to first base, get the put out. And there are 2 out. Next batter going to step in for the Knights, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton a year ago got in 27 ball games, 74 played, I should say, at-bats. Official at-bats, 93 plate appearances. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Roberts. Swung on, ground ball, third base, fielded by Dold. He'll throw across the diamond, get the put out with Tate Goyer. So the Knights are out of the inning. And after 1.5, Knights 5, Twin Lakes Indians 2. Indians going to come to the plate to bat in the bottom of the second inning. Also bringing you tonight's ball game is Reynolds Farm Equipment. Family owned and operated since 1955. You can increase your yield. Tractors, combines, corn pickers, lawn mowers, etc. Genuine John Deere equipment. New and used equipment available. Extraordinarily the best in the business. That's Reynolds Farm Equipment at Atlanta, Indiana. Their Atlanta location is at 1451 East 276th Street, Atlanta, Indiana, 46031. That's just 2 miles south of 296th Street, the Tipton-Hamilton County line. To reach Reynolds Farm Equipment, they have 5 locations. Dial them at 800-333-6947. That's 800-333-6947. And again, you can reach their Atlanta, Indiana store at 317-758-4116. Again, 317-758-4116. That's Reynolds Farm Equipment. Knights getting some warm-ups. Late getting out to first base there is 33 DJ Gilkey. And I got to mention, Butch Kramer let me know that maybe a couple of weeks ago, Twin Lakes Indians named this field Crab Ebel Field. And those were named after 2 longtime coaches and outstanding gentlemen. This field now named Crab Ebel Field here at Twin Lakes High School. Stepping into bat, going to be the right fielder. Jed Gorton, first pitch from Gerke. Low for ball 1. That's number 10, Jed Gorton. That's in the 8 spot. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. A little bit of a check swing. Not much, full swing check, we'll call it. And he'll be thrown out at first base, played by the second baseman, Alex Schumer. He throws over to DJ Gilkey for the first out here in the top of the third inning. I think by the bottom of the second inning. Tomorrow night will be at Central Catholic. It would be just the opposite. So stepping into bat. Right into the batter's box, working from the windup, Gerke. Josh Crowell. First pitch, breaking pitch in there for a strike. Josh Crowell wears number 9, plays left field, made that catch in left field in the top half. Here comes the pitch. Swung on. He'll drive one to center field. Get a beat on it and move inward and to his left. Catch is made by Vince Kalenko. There are 2 out. Next batter going to step in. It's going to be the leadoff batter, Cooper Dold. Started this ball game. First pitch double off the bat of Dold. Cooper Dold, another sophomore. He plays first base, outfield, and a right-handed pitcher. He's 6'3", 165 unit square to bunt. He pulls the bat back. He knew it was a ball outside. Count goes 1-0. He'll step back in, tap the opposite side of the plate. Working from the windup, here comes the 1-0 pitch. Low for ball 2. Going to get through the wickets right there. Going to go back to the backstop. Difficult play to make. And count goes 2-0 to Cooper Dold. Cooper Dold, third baseman for the Indians. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Gerke. Outside half, knee-high strike called. Count goes 2-1. Straightaway stance for Cooper Dold. Here comes the wind and the pitch for Lucas Gerke. Short hops a glove. Good glove there by catcher. Cooper Renback. Working from the windup. 1 foot on the rubber, 1 foot off. Right-handed pitcher, Lucas Gerke. Breaking pitch misses high. And he'll jog down to first base on ball 4. Cooper Dold. And they'll work it there with 2 out. Runner aboard at first base. Cooper Dold stepping into bat. 27, Mason Brummets. Center fielder, left-handed batter, peering in, long stretch. Now the set position. Gerke checks over his shoulder to first base a couple of times. He'll step off the back and throw nonchalant to first base. So Mason Brummett steps out of the box, gets ready, steps back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set position. He'll check first base. Here comes the pitch. First pitch to Brummett. Going to call a strike outside edge. Trying to steal second base. Throw comes in. He's safe at second. Gets by the glove of Schumer. Picked up behind second base by Mikey Stapleton. Cooper Dold safe at second. Left-handed batter's box, Brummett. No balls, 1 strike. Working out a stretch, now the set. He'll check second base. Here comes the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. 27, Mason Brummett, sophomore athlete. Mason Brummett, he's been to the plate 10 times, entering this ballgame. 10 official at-bats. He scored 2 runs. He's got 2 hits. Here comes the pitch. Low and away for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mason Brummett, he has a double on the season. He's reached base 1 time on air. Working from the stretch, now the set. Lucas Gerke, he'll check second. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, trying to backdoor curveball just outside. Gerke might have thought it was a strike. He'll step back in the rubber, peer in, look at signals. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Mason Brummett out of the set, he'll check second base. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he'll take one the other way, fouls, and it'll go out of play. Brummett, a healthy cut there. Getting some of that sweet spot on the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stepping back in the rubber, Lucas Gerke. Where's number 10 for the Knights? Out of the set position. He'll check second. He'll check it again. Here comes the pitch. Taking off for third base. Renback going to throw a little bit of a high throw there. Safe at second, sliding in, feet first. He is Dold. Dold's over there at third base. 2 outs, 3-2 count to Mason Brummett. Left-handed batter's box, working from the stretch, now the set. Checks third base. Here comes the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Might have got near that baseball. Not quite a foul tip, but he'll go down swinging. And that's Mason Brummett. He'll walk back to the dugout. So no runs, no hits, no errors. And they leave Cooper Dold at third base. We'll go to the top of the 3rd inning. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Scott G. Scott G, when time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana middle school and high school athletics. Scott G. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers. Fritz in Noblesville, celebrating 43 years in business. in the heart of the Nickel Plate District. Late model cars and trucks, each vehicle pre-delivery inspection. They have 2 Hamilton County locations. You can go to fritzandfishers.com. That's Fishers, Indiana, 8599 East 116th Street. Dial them up at Fishers at 317-842-2228. In Noblesville, reach them on State Road 32. fritzandfishers.com. You can reach them by dialing 317-773-2232. That's Fritz Auto Sales and Service. And we do appreciate you tuning in. We'll mention you probably paying attention last night. Florida Gators got by Houston, had a comeback to win their first NCAA basketball championship since 2007, 65-63. And the Purdue Boilermakers, it took a lot for Houston to get by Purdue by 2. Here comes the first pitch, top of the third, strike called. Backdoor curveball, taken for a strike by DJ Gilkey. He'll step back in. Open stance for Gilkey, working from the wind-up. Here comes the pitch. Austin Roberts. Pitch comes in and low and outside. Good block by Aiden Holly. Left-handed batter's box. Peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch inside, ball 2. As mentioned, Austin Roberts with a good break on his breaking pitch. Wind's not too severe right now. Good break for his curveball. Here comes the pitch. Inside and tight. Ball 3. Count goes 3-1 to DJ Gilkey. 33, plays first base. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the windup. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Roberts. Pitch comes in just above the zone. Ball 4. So Gilkey jogs down to first base. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. Number 3, Jackson Kane. Jackson Kane, we'll mention a year ago, played in 30 ball games. He played in all 30. 80 at-bats, 111 plate appearances, batted .287. .455 on base percentage. He got 23 hits on the season. He'll step in, tap the plate. Right-handed batter's box. Jackson Kane. Out of set, Roberts. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Pretty good placement right there for that breaking pitch. Count goes 0-1 to Jackson Kane. Runner at first base, DJ Gilkey. Top of the third inning, nobody out. Working out the stretch, now the set. Pitch comes in low for a ball. Good block by Holly. He'll clean it, and you'll have an opportunity to get him at second base. And sliding in there just safe at second for the Knights. DJ Gilkey. Stepping back in, Jackson Kane. 1 ball, 1 strike out of the set position. Roberts checks second base. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Top of the third inning, 5-2 contest. He'll step back in. Working out the set. Roberts checks second base. Here comes the pitch. You're going to pop one up skyward. Going to be foul territory. Giving it a look is going to go out of play. Giving it a good look there was first baseman Tate Goyer. And the count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second base for the Knights. Nobody out. Top of the third inning. He'll step back in. Jackson Kane. Back in the rubber, peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts. Out of a set, he'll check second a couple of times. Pitch comes in, he'll float one out of play. Foul ball, straight back. Count remains 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kane going to step back in. Back in the rubber, Austin Roberts. Peering in, looking at signals from Aiden Holly. Out of the set, he'll check second a couple of times. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. So Kane will go down on strikes. And there's 1 out here in the top of the third. Next batter going to step in for the Knights, number 41, Brendan Van Kirk. Van Kirk Six hitter playing left field. Peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts, right-handed batter, checks second base. Couple of times. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. No balls, one strike. 41, Van Kirk. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Van Kirk, a year ago, 23 ball games he got in. 35 at-bats, 47 plate appearances, batted .229. Out of the set position. Roberts checks second base a couple of times. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch just missed. Ball two. I might check that. Ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Working out a stretch. Peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts. Van Kirk, the batter. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Going to break in there for a strike. Strike 3. He'll jog back to the dugout. 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Next batter going to step in. Going to be number 28, Tatum Adriano. Adriano, 3rd baseman, batting in the 7th spot. Runner at second base for the Knights is DJ Gilkey. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Fouls it back. 0-1 count to Adriano. Step out of the box. 1 foot on the chalk. IHSAA likes it to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Keep the game moving. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. He'll step back in. Just a bit of an open stance on the instep. Adriano out of the set. Roberts. He'll check second a couple of times. Here's the pitch. You're going to foul another one back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Top of the 3rd inning. Adriano. Roberts checks second. Here's the pitch. You're going to take one to center field. Pretty good line drive shot, but in the glove of Mason Brummett in center field, and he'll record the 3rd out of the inning. And the Knights come up with no runs. They get 1 runner aboard here in the top of the 3rd. And we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 5-2 here on the diamond at Twin Lakes High School. We'll mention this game is also in part being brought to you by AGM Auto, LLC. At AGM Auto, you'll not only be treated with pure professionalism, you'll appreciate their state-of-the-art diagnostics and their up-to-date status for each of their AGM technicians. And AGM doesn't only work under the hood. AGM works toward the recovery and restoration of the many now beautiful cars, which are now and have become showroom treasures, mechanically and cosmetically. To contact AGM Auto, dial them at 317-984-5283. That's 317-984-5283. They're only an hour away from here. I take that back, 90 minutes from Monticello. That's AGM, 1 mile west. 1 mile west of Arcadia. Reach them on Facebook at AGM Auto, LLC. So they're still throwing the ball around the diamond. Working right there on the infield. Still on the pitcher's mound for the Knights, Lucas Gerke. Lucas Gerke pitching here in the ball game. His catcher is Cooper Renback. Going to ask for 1 more warm-up toss. They're going to throw it down to second base. Renback going to bounce it in there, right in there. Second base, Schumer. Imaginary tag. So stepping into bat, Twin Lakes Indians. It's going to be number 6, the 3-hitter, Carson Wagner. Carson Wagner, shortstop for the Indians. Carson Wagner, we'll mention, he is the captain of Mr. Burton, Coach Burton's team. Here comes the first pitch from Gerke. Just above the zone, ball 1. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter, sophomore athlete. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball back up the middle, going to go through. And they're going to go into center field. Base hit off the bat of Wagner. So next batter going to step in, 4-hitter, Aiden Holly. Aiden Holly, number 28, does the catching. Aiden Holly, another sophomore athlete. I should say Wagner is a junior. Wagner, the captain of the ball team, he's at first base, just got a single up the middle. He's a junior class member. Working from the stretch. Now the set. Gerke looks over that left shoulder, first base. Here's the pitch. Going to be in high and tight. Going to get him in the ribs. Face on a hit by pitch. And at first base now is 28, Aiden Holly. 2 runners aboard for the Knights. Stepping into bat, 5-hitter, number 33, Peyton Houchin. Second baseman, they're going to call timeout. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out and have conversation with his infield. And we'll mention tonight's ball game is also in part being brought to you by Noblesville Trophies. You can shop them online at noblesvilletrophies.com or stop in, if only to browse around. 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville, Indiana. They have trophies, awards, plaques, and more. Fast turnaround, prices are low. They're so low you may want to be a repeat customer. That's Noblesville Trophies, 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville, Indiana, 46060. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can reach them by phone by dialing 317-773-7391. Again, that's 317-773-7391. Or go online, noblesvilletrophies.com. So Coach Bourdonnais going to walk back to the dugout. Mound visit is complete. In the batter's box for Twin Lakes is number 33, Peyton Houchin. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set position, Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 0-1. Houchin in the batter's box. 2 aboard for Twin Lakes. Mason Brummett is at first base. And we're getting out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pickoff move. Second base, no throw. I take that back. Holly is at first base. And Carson Wagner for the Twin Lakes Indians at second. Nobody out. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, full swing, foul. Going to stay around home plate. Runners were on the move. They'll retreat back to their bags, back to their bases. Count goes 0-2. Peyton Houchin, right-handed batter's box. Peyton Houchin, sophomore athlete. Working from the stretch. Now the set. Lucas Gerke checks second base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He'll go down on strikes. There's 1 out. Top of the 3rd inning. And next batter in the lineup, Twin Lakes Indians. Going to be Austin Roberts. Roberts, the pitcher. Where's number 14? Another right-handed batter. Austin Roberts, sophomore athlete, listed as an infielder, a right-handed pitcher. Right-handed batter, working from the stretch. Now the set. Gerke checks second base. You're going to pick off move, spin move. You're going to throw it right of first base. Second base goes into center field. Picked up by Kalenko. And the runners move up 90 feet. Now runners at second and third. Holly at second. Wagner at third. He'll step back in. Straightaway stance. In the batter's box, 14, Austin Roberts. Peering in, looking at signals. Lucas Gerke out of the set position, checks third. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Pretty good breaking pitch there. Good placement. Count goes, it's going to be 1-1. Let me take that back. 0-1 of the pickoff move in right field. Out of the set position for Gerke. He'll check third base. Here comes the pitch. Strike called. Breaking pitch. Outside edge. Count goes 0-2. Right-handed batter's box. Austin Roberts peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set position, he'll check third base. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in, ball high. Just above the zone. He'll take it for ball 1. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Austin Roberts. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. Lucas Gerke checking third base. Here comes the 1-2. just above the zone. Had some fastball there, some velocity. Reaching back, count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Lucas Gerke, a long peer. Now out of the set position. To check third base, here's the pitch. Strike 3, going to strike him out, looking. And there are 2 outs in the inning. Next batter going to step in. It's going to be the DH, Aiden Garcia. Aiden Garcia, number 48. He'll step in, he'll step out. Coach Burton going to call time. Coach Burton going to call time and relay some information right there. And they're going to go for the pinch runner. Jogging out to do the running is going to be number 16, Costin Myers. Costin Myers going out to run. He's a freshman athlete, listed as an outfielder. Peering in, looking for signals. Now out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Check swing, held up. Low outside. Good block there. Kept it laterally to himself. Cooper Renback, the catcher. Runners at second and third. At second base now is Costin Myers. He's pinch running. Pinch running for Aiden Holly. Out of the set position. Here comes a pitch from Gerke. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss in the batter's box. Aiden Garcia. Last time up, he had a check swing, somewhat of a check swing, ground ball to second base. Pretty much similar to that same swing. Here comes the set position. Here comes the pitch. The checky swing on a low fastball and good block right there by Renback. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter's box. That's 48, Aiden Garcia, the DH for the Indians. Out of the set position. Gerke checks third. Here's the pitch. Strike called, outside half. Count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, 2 aboard. Bottom of the third inning. 5-2 ball game out of the set. Checks third base. Gerke, here's the pitch. Outside a ball, going to short hop the glove of Renback coming in to score from third base. It's Carson Wagner. Wagner in to score run number 3 for the Indians. Moving over to third base. On the throw is Costin Myers. 5-3 contest. 2 outs. Top of the third inning. Runner at third base is Myers. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Jammed him up, swing and a miss. He'll jog back to the dugout. And the Knights get out of the inning, but not before 1 run in from third base. And it's a 5-3 contest. And we're going to go to the top of the 4th inning here at Twin Lakes High School. We thank you for tuning in, and we thank support sponsors. They are beneficial to high school baseball. We'll mention Lisa Stokes Bear Century 21, a real estate IQ that will work for the benefit of you. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. A vast knowledge with more than 25 years of question answering experience. Let Lisa look or let Lisa list. Each home is precious. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21 Sheets Company. More than a highly recommended real estate agent and real estate broker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone or by text message, go to 317-513-4086. Again, that's 317-513-4086. That's Lisa Stokes Bear. Also, bringing you tonight's ball game is Discount Copies. Discount Copies, conveniently located at the west edge of Noblesville, Indiana, 46062, just behind Pizza Hut and next to 32 Bowl along State Road 32. As Discount Copies, they provide setup services. And we'll finish that in just a moment. Stepping in for the Knights, wearing number 25, 8-hitter, Vince Talenko, center fielder. Will step into bat top of the 4th inning. Working from the wind-up glove at the chest area. Here comes the pitch from Roberts. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Austin Roberts working from the windup, 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Peering in, looking at signals. In the batter's box, Vince Talenko. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 4th inning, 5-3 contest. Knights in front. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch, ground ball, shortstop. Be fielded there. Carson Wagner, he'll throw across the diamond. And he'll get the put out with Tate Goyer. There's 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Next batter in the lineup for the Knights is going to be number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick, right fielder. He'll step into bat. Colton Minnick, right-handed batter, working from the windup. Here comes the pitch from Roberts. Breaking pitch just above the zone. Ball 1. Roberts might have thought it was a strike, but not a lot of complaining. I'll tell you what, these young men, they don't do a lot of body language at the high school level. Here comes a pitch. Pitch comes in high above the zone. Ball 2. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He'll step back in. Colton Minnick. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Roberts. Breaking pitch, got the outside edge. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Third baseman Cooper Dold is in near the lip of the grass at third base. They're going to call timeout. He'll step out of the box. He'll step back in. 2-1 count. 1 out. Top of the 4th. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch finished just above the zone. Count goes 3-1. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter Colton Minnick. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Roberts. Tight for ball 4. He'll jog down to first base. 1 aboard for the Knights. Next batter going to step in. Going to be the leadoff batter in today's ball game, Lucas Gerke. Lucas Gerke, leadoff batter, got himself aboard. 2-base hit. He'll step in, left-handed batter's box. Working from the stretch. Austin Roberts peering in, looking at signals. He'll check first base out of the stretch. Now the set. Here's the pitch. High and tight. Another breaking pitch. I tell you what, he's got a breaking pitch. He can dial that in. Wow. He'll step back in. Working out the stretch. Now the set. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball. Count goes 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. He'll step out of the box. He'll look for signals. Coach Bourdonnais, he'll step back in. Runner aboard at first base for the Knights, Colton Minnick, out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. You're going to pop one up. Skyward, going to be called for by the right fielder. Right fielder couldn't quite grasp it. The sun working right there and going halfway and finally going to second base, sliding head first, safe. It's Colton Minnick. Runners at first and second base. In the batter's box, getting ready to bat, number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, second baseman. They jog out. Lucas Gerke going to put a jacket on right there. Lucas Gerke can put the dark blue navy jacket on. Pitcher going to run the bases. So they're going to give him a chance. Get that snapped up. Austin Roberts getting ready to go. He'll step in. Austin Roberts, right-handed pitcher, working from the stretch. Now the set. He'll check second base. First pitch to Schumer. Low and away, ball 1. Runner at first and second base for the Knights. Top of the 4th inning, 5-3 contest. Working out a stretch, now the set. He'll check second base. Pitch from Roberts. In there for a strike. Taken for a strike. Count goes 1-1. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Schumer checking signals. None given. He'll step back in. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Austin Roberts Looking at the catcher. Now he'll step in the rubber. Stretch position. Out of the set now. Roberts is going to check second base. Here's the pitch. Ground balls. Second base. Fielded there by Houchin. They throw to second base. They'll throw back to first. And they'll go 4-6-3. Peyton Houchin. Carson Wagner is shortstop. Over to Tate Goyer. And the Knights are out of the inning. And we'll mention the Twin Lakes Indians will go to the dugout. They'll bat in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 5-3 contest through 3.5. And then we'll finish up discount copies. Discount copies. They can take your artwork and turn it into things such as note cards, notepads, prints, and calendars. And it's never too early to think about personalized Christmas cards. Posters and oversized printing also available. And also, if you're planning a wedding, they can print all of your necessary needs for that wedding. You can reach discount copies by phone by dialing 317-773-8783. Again, that's 317-773-8783. Or by email at discountcopies96@gmail.com. That's discount copies, the number 96@gmail.com. So the Knights going to throw the ball around the infield. Twin Lakes going to bat in the bottom of the fourth inning. They're getting warmed up out in the outfield also. And back on the rubber is, on the pitcher's mound, is Lucas Gerke. Lucas Gerke pitching in the bottom of the fourth. Lucas Gerke, 6 foot. He's a senior, listed as a pitcher and an infielder. 6 foot 175. So he gets a final warm-up tosses. I believe they're going to throw this one down. Cooper Renback, the catcher. Where's number 7? Throw it to second base. And they'll put the imaginary tag. And Mikey Stapleton taking the throw. Next batter going to step in for Twin Lakes. Number 10, 8-hitter, Judd Gorton. Judd Gorton. He plays right field. His real name at birth is Judson. He goes by Judd. He's a junior. Listed as an infielder, an outfielder, a right-handed pitcher. He's 5'9", 170. A little bit of an open stance. First pitch from Gerke. Bottom of the fourth. Short hops the glove. Ball 1. Good block by Renback. He'll step back in. 1 ball, no strikes. Peering in over the glove, working from the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, third base, fielded by Adriano. Adriano throws it across the diamond. And they'll get the put out. That's Tatum, Adriano. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And next batter going to step in for Twin Lakes, number 9, Josh Crowell. Josh Crowell, he's a left fielder. Josh Crowell, we'll mention he's a freshman athlete, outfielder and a pitcher, 5'10". He steps in, right-handed batter. Outside half, fastball, knee high, called strike. He'll step back in, peering over the glove, Lucas Gerke. Here comes a wind and a pitch. Swing and a miss. Might have been a breaking pitch. Count goes 0-2. He'll step back on the rubber. 1 foot in, one foot off. Here comes a wind and a pitch from Gerke. Big ground ball. Second base, fielded by Schumer. They throw across the diamond, throw right there. First base nearby. And caught there by DJ Gilkey. And there are 2 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Right there, something on the dirt right there. You see that sometimes. You see the college guys writing something on the dirt and stepping in. And in the batter's box, Cooper Dold, leadoff batter. He's the first batter, I should say. Ground ball, second base. Misplayed it, picked it back up. Schumer makes the play at first base. DJ Gilkey. And both in the fourth inning. Not a lot of offense and a pretty good defense in the fourth. We'll go to the top of the fifth here momentarily. A 5-3 ball game. 5-3 contest. And we do thank you for tuning in. And I will mention the Knights and the Indians. Knights and the Indians are going to play again tomorrow. That'll be 6 p.m. Wednesday, tomorrow, the 9th of April. Twin Lakes will be at Lafayette Central Catholic. And I'm looking for another good game tomorrow evening at Central Catholic. And I should mention a little bit about Twin Lakes. Last Wednesday on the 2nd of April, they had a good ball game with Northwestern on that synthetic turf right there in Kokomo. Twin Lakes were at Northwestern. Exciting close game, 4-3 in 9 innings. So I tell you what, the Indians are right there. Had a lot of close ball games. And we'll mention the Knights. Knights started out the season winning against Chittard. That was back on Tuesday, the 1st of April. It was a 9-3 contest. Central Catholic got the win over Bishop Chittard. And so they started out their season with just one game in Riverton Park. The Riverton Park game at Central Catholic, the rainout was postponed. It will be made up on April 21st. It'll still be a 6 o'clock start at Central Catholic with Riverton Park Panthers. So stepping in, going to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. Number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Right into the batter's box. Working from the windup, Austin Roberts is going to pitch in the 5th. Here comes a wind and the pitch to Stapleton. Pop one up on the infield. It's going to be called for by the right side. And that sun is just pretty difficult to handle about this time of day. And then it drops on the dirt. And I'm not quite sure, but he's at first base. So at first base now is Mikey Stapleton. They're going to call a timeout. Coach Jake Burton going to walk out, talk with his infield right there at the pitcher's mound. And we do thank you for tuning in. We'll mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by Camino and Company. That's in downtown Noblesville. Camino and Company, a mobile flower shop brought to you by local flower farmers and providers, small business partners, and the CNC founders. You can reach them on the web at camino-and-company.com. Next batter going to step in. Going to be the 4-hitter. He's playing first base, DJ Gilkey. Left-handed batter's box, 1 runner aboard for the Knights. Going to step off the back of the rubber right there. And he'll step back in. Austin Roberts, check over at first base. Now the set position, pickoff move, first base, back safely, head first. And the tag was not applied by Goyer. And step back in. So Mikey Stapleton getting a modest lead at first base. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch just inside a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Working from the stretch, peering in, looking at signals. Austin Roberts out of the set. He'll check first. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch inside and tight. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Top of the 5th inning. 5-3 contest. Knights in front. Peering in, looking at signals. He'll step off the back of the rubber. Austin Roberts, he'll reset. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. He'll check first base out of the stretch. Now the set. Here's the pitch. Be short off the glove. Going to get by the catcher. Aiden Holly jogging down the second base is Mikey Stapleton. Left-handed batter, DJ Gilkey. He'll step back in. In a modest lead there at second base. Mikey Stapleton peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set, Austin Roberts, he'll check second. Here's the pitch. Just above the zone. Ball 4. So DJ Gilkey jogs to first base. Nobody out. Runners at first and second for the Knights. Next batter to step in, going to be the 5-hitter, number 3, Jackson Kane. So Jackson Kane going to step in. Runners aboard first and second. Stepping back in the rubber is Austin Roberts. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set, he'll check second. Check it again. Here's the pitch. Jackson squares the bunt, pulls the bat back, a ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. Out of the box, checking signals. Several signals given. Third base coach, Coach Bourdonnais. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set. He'll check second base. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a bunt. Back to the pitcher. Austin Roberts fields it. He'll throw to first base. And mission accomplished for Jackson Kane. Moves the runners to second and third base with 1 out. Next batter going to step in for the Knights, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk, left fielder. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk down, have some words with Van Kirk. He might be calling for a pinch hitter. They're going to step in with Gus Sandberg. Sandberg going to step in to bat. Right-handed batter's box. Gus Sandberg, 5'11", 205. He's a junior class member, listed as a pitcher and a first baseman. Right-handed batter's box. He'll step in. Austin Roberts peering in. Now he'll step in the rubber. Runners at second and third base. Out of the set. Roberts, he'll check second, third. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch outside a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Looking for signals. 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out. Sandberg steps back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set position. Check second. Here comes the pitch. He's going to full swing. Going to be foul territory near first base. And it's going to be caught by Tate Goyer, the first baseman. And there's 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Runners at second and third base, 1 out. Next batter going to step in for the Knights, 28, Tatum Adriano, third baseman. I should mention 2 out. 2 out on the diamond, 2 on base. Out of the set, Roberts, here's the pitch. He's going to foul one right side. Giving it a look is Goyer. It's going to go out of play. Knights have some bullpen activity down the right field line. No balls, 1 strike. Tatum Adriano, right-handed batter, steps back in. Facing the righty, Austin Roberts from Twin Lakes, out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Low and inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Austin Roberts out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to take 1 left side, a dribbler, just left of third base line. They'll pick it up out of the dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tatum Adriano, third baseman for the Knights, stepping in the rubber. Austin Roberts, where's number 14, sophomore pitcher. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in high for a ball. Count goes 2-2. He'll step back in. Adriano. Roberts peers in, looks at signals. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. He's going to float one up on the infield. Going to be called for by Roberts. Going to be a fair ball, and he'll make the catch. About 30 feet from the plate, and Austin Roberts fights the sun and makes the catch for out number 3. And no runs scored in the inning. It's a 5-3 contest. Knights will play defensively. And we'll mention coming to the plate. There's Twin Lakes so bad in the bottom of the 5th inning. And then we'll mention Indiana Beach. Indiana Beach right next door, right here. Indiana Beach. To what they are just west side of Lake Sherman. Right here. I'm not sure. What is it? Lake Schaefer got some help next door here. Athletic director, I appreciate him. And I'm Butch. You know, we appreciate Butch because he's a great guy. He does basketball. Sounds real good. But anyway, Lake Schaefer, just west side of Lake Schaefer. Indiana Beach, just go to indianabeach.com. So taking some warm-ups right there on the pitching rubber. Lucas Gerke. Gerke working right there, and we'll also mention tonight's ball game is in part being brought to you by McCormick Printing. Before we dive back into action, we want to spotlight a business that's been printing success in our community for 50 incredible years. McCormick Printing Impressions. From business cards to banners, t-shirts to office supplies, MPI is your local full-service print shop delivering quality, great service, and creativity in every project. Family owned and operated for 2 generations, MPI knows that your first impression matters, so they make sure it's a good one. Next time you need something printed with perfection, turn to MPI because at McCormick Printing Impressions, they don't just print, they help you make your best impression. So stepping into bat is Brummett. Mason Brummett going to bat. Here, left-handed batter, bottom of the 5th inning, working from the windup. Lucas Gerke, here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Count goes 0-1. He'll step back in. Right-handed pitcher, Lucas Gerke. Here comes the pitch to Brummett. And a foul tip one back to the screen. Strike 2. Right on time, just underneath the baseball. Step back in. Tap the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Looking over the glove, here comes the wind and the pitch. Outside a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You reach back, got some more MPH. Count goes 1-2. Working from the windup. Looking over the glove. Peering in, looking at signals. From Renback, here comes the 1-2 pitch. Just outside a ball. About knee high. Count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Step back in. Peering in, looking over the glove. He'll shake off a signal. Here comes the pitch, the 2-2. Ground ball. Shortstop, Stapleton. He'll throw across a diamond. He'll get the put out with DJ Gilkey. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. So Carson Wagner going to bring a ball replacement to the umpire. He'll pick up the bat. He'll hand it to Mason Brummett. He is the captain. Junior class member, he'll step in. Right-handed batter's box, peering over the glove. Lucas Gerke. Here comes the first pitch to Wagner. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Righty facing a righty. Pretty good breaking pitch. Count goes 0-1. Peering over the glove. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Outside half, strike called. About thigh high. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Gerke going against Wagner. Here comes the 0-2. Swing a miss, drop third. Stepping to the outside is Renback. Foul territory. He'll make the throw to Gilkey. There are 2 out. Next batter going to step in for Twin Lakes. Number 28, Aiden Holly. Aiden Holly, the catcher. Right-handed batter. He'll step in. Working from the windup, Lucas Gerke, peering over the glove. A little bit of an open stance. First pitch to Holly. Outside half, strike called. He'll step back in. Here comes the pitch, the 0-1. Tries to check his swing, then asks first base. He says no. First base, a position umpire says he didn't go. Count goes 1-1. Looking over the glove, Lucas Gerke. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball. Second base, fielded by Schumer. He'll throw to first base, get the put out with DJ Gilkey. And the Knights get out of the inning. And we'll mention Twin Lakes Indians going to play defensively. Top of the 6th inning. It's a 5-3 contest right here on the diamond. And we'll also mention sponsorship appreciated. Scott G will mention when time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana middle school and high school athletics. Baseball on the diamond. Springtime in Indiana. Also bringing you tonight's contest is Fritz and Fishers. Fritz in Noblesville, celebrating 43 years in business. In the heart of the Nickel Plate District, they're in Fishers, late model cars and trucks. Each vehicle pre-delivery inspection. 2 Hamilton County locations. Go to fritzinfishers.com. Fishers, Indiana, they're at 8599 East 116th Street, 317-842-2228. Their other dealership, Noblesville on State Road 32. fritzinfishers.com on 32 in Noblesville. You can reach them at 317-773-2232. So they're throwing the ball around the diamond right there on the field, getting warmed up here. Top of the 6th inning. Still on the pitcher's rubber is Austin Roberts. Austin Roberts. He went 3 1/3 thus far on the season, and he's gone through 5 right now. He's in the 6th inning. Going to throw one down to second base. Catcher Aiden Holly, and the throw taken by Peyton Houchin, second baseman. A chilly day here in Indiana. They said mid 40s, and they were right. Drove up about 45 degrees. These guys, some of them have hoodies sticking out the backside of their jersey. It is chilly. Stepping in, Knights. Top of the 6th, first pitch from Roberts. Strike called, inside half. 8-hitter, number 25, Vince Talenko. Center fielder for the Knights. Here comes a wind in the pitch from Roberts. Inside, just inside, ball 1. Count goes 1-1. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter peering over the glove. Here comes the wind in the pitch from Roberts. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Roberts ahead in the count. He'll peer over the glove. Here comes the wind in the pitch to Talenko. Swing and a miss. He'll go down swinging. There's 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. Number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick, the 9-hitter, plays right field for the Knights. Right-handed batter's box. Peering over the glove, looking for signals. Here comes the wind in the pitch from Roberts. First pitch, inside half, strike called. Looks for signals, none given. He'll step back in. Here comes the wind in the pitch from Austin Roberts. Low, good block once again. Aiden Holly. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Colton Minnick. Peering over the glove. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Full swing, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter's box facing the righty, Austin Roberts. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. High and tight, got out of the way, ball 2. 2-2 count. Austin Roberts peering over the glove. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. Third base, good stop on a hard hop. Stop made there. Cooper Dold with a high hop. Gloves it, throws across the diamond, gets the put out with Tate Goyer. There are 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Stepping into bat for the Knights, number 10, Lucas Gerke. Left-handed batter. Right-handed pitcher. Step in. Working out of the windup. Here comes the pitch to Gerke. Breaking pitch, back door in there for a strike. So that breaking pitch back door means that he's starting that curveball away from the batter outside. It climbs back in towards the batter. Here comes the pitch to 0-1. You're going to sky one to right field. Backing up, going to be called for by the center fielder. Mason Brummett makes the catch. in right center field. And the Knights are retired. So the Knights come up with no runs in the sixth inning. No hits, no errors. Or Twin Lakes after 5.5. Going to the bottom of the sixth, it's 5-3. 5-3 contest. Knights in front. We'll also mention today's ball game is in parts being brought to you by AGM Auto, LLC. At AGM Auto, you'll not only be treated with pure professionalism, you'll appreciate their state-of-the-art diagnostics and their up-to-date status of each and every one of the AGM technicians. And AGM doesn't only work under the hood. AGM works toward the recovery and restoration of the many now beautiful cars which are now have become showroom treasures, mechanically and cosmetically. To contact AGM Auto LLC, dial them up at 317-984-5283. Again, that number is 317-984-5283. That's AGM Auto. They're just 1 mile west of Arcadia on 266th Street, AGM Auto. First batter going to step in here for the Twin Lakes Indians is going to be number 33, Peyton Houchin. He plays second base. He bats in the fifth spot. It'll be a right-handed batter, Peyton Houchin. Well, mention he's a sophomore. He's listed as a catcher and a third baseman. And he's ready to go. He's getting some warm-up swings there on deck. Still on the pitcher's rubber for the Knights is Lucas Gerke. As they're still throwing the ball around the infield, they're going to take a throw right here. Renback going to throw to second base. Couldn't grasp the baseball there. So they'll have a meeting out there at the pitcher's rubber. Twin Lakes Indians going to bat in the bottom half of the sixth inning. 33, Peyton Houchin, playing second base in this ball game. He's been busy. He'll step in right-handed batter's box. He's got the white hoodie out of his home white uniforms, the red numerals. Knights going with the gray uniforms and the blue numerals. Here comes the first pitch to Houchin. Breaking pitch called strike. Outside half. Steps back in, looking over the glove, the windup. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He'll look for signals. No signals from Coach Burton. Working back, looking over the rubber, looking over the glove right there from the rubber. Here comes the pitch to Houchin. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. 1-2 count. Peyton Houchin, 5-hitter. Where's number 33? Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He'll drop third. He'll have a chance to get there, and the throw's going to come in just in front of Houchin, reaching first base. Ball got by Renback. He picked it up about halfway back to the screen, maybe not quite halfway. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. Next batter for Twin Lakes, 6-hitter number 14, Austin Roberts. He's the pitcher. He's gone the distance. He'll step in right-handed batter's box. Working from the windup. Here comes the pitch from Gerke. Low for ball 1. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. No signals given. Looking over the glove from the windup. Here comes the pitch from Gerke. Ground ball. Second base. Be gloved there by Schumer. He'll throw to first base, get the put out with DJ Gilkey. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Next batter going to step in for Twin Lakes, 48, Aiden Garcia. Designated hitter for Twin Lakes, straightaway stance, right-handed batter. Facing the righty, Lucas Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside, ball 1. Working from the rubber, looking up, peering over the glove, taking the signals. Here comes the wind and the pitch to Holly. Taken for a strike, knee high. Count goes 1-1. Take that back. Garcia, Aiden Garcia, 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. He's going to float one to right field, going to get a lot of it, going to back up the right fielder, Colton Minnick, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So Twin Lakes Indians 3. And we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear. Lisa Stokes Bear, real estate IQ that will work to benefit you. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. She has a vast knowledge with more than 25 years of question answering experience. Let Lisa look or let Lisa list. Each home is precious. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21 Sheets Company. Highly recommended real estate agent and real estate broker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone, by text message, her phone number 317-513-4086. Again, that's 317-513-4086. Back out on the pitcher's rubber, Austin Roberts working right now on warm-ups from the stretch. They'll throw it to second base on a frozen rope from the hand of Aiden Holly. Holly going to have a little conversation with the home plate umpire there. And Knight's going to send to the plate two-hitter number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, second baseman. Peering over the glove. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Roberts. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. No balls, one strike. Steps back in, left-handed batter. Schumer, here comes the pitch from Roberts. Short hops the glove. Good stop by Aiden Holly. In at third base is Cooper Dole near the lip of the grass. Here comes a wind and a pitch from Roberts. Pitch comes in, outside edge, strike call. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A year ago, Alex Schumer got in 14 ball games at 22 plate appearances. Here comes a pitch from Roberts. Going to foul one, back out of play. Alex Schumer, 312 batting average a year ago. 500 on base percentage. Steps back in. Roberts from the windup. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Going to take one the other way, left side. Going to go out of play, left of third base. And he'll stay in the box with a 1-2 count. So pretty good effort there at third base. As far as he could go, Cooper Dole, third baseman. 1-2 count. Peering over the glove, working from the windup. Austin Roberts. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch. He'll go to shortstop. Off the glove there. Short hops the glove. Looked like that ball was going to stay up a little taller. But couldn't make the play. That was Carson Wagner. And safe at first base is Schumer. So Butch Kramer, official scorer, says that's an infield hit. So they'll make an adjustment. They got a runner at first base for the Knights. And the Mikey Stapleton going to bat. Where's number 11? Got a pinch runner at first base for Schumer, trying to locate the number. So working from the stretch, peering over at first base, now out of the set position. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch, he'll take it the other way. Going to get a lot of it, but it's going to be a foul ball. Goes out of play. So first pitch goes out of play, foul ball. Mikey Stapleton. He steps back in, working from the stretch. Now the set, here's the pitch. He's going to take another one, similar fashion, right side. No balls, 2 strikes. Knights batting in the top of the 7th inning, a 5-3 contest. He'll step back in. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a base hit over shortstop. Going to get the grass. One hop in the glove of left fielder Josh Crowell. And the Knights have 2 aboard. There was nobody out here in the 7th. So next batter going to step in for the Knights. 4-hitter number 33, DJ Gilkey. Gilkey going to look for signals. Very few, if any, given. Step in, left-handed batter, working from the stretch. Austin Roberts checks second. Here's the pitch. Outside half, knee high, called strike. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's a hand clap signal from Coach Bourdonnais. It's an 0-1 count. Out of the set. He'll check second a couple of times. He'll step off the back. Austin Roberts. Left-handed batter's box. DJ Gilkey. Nobody out. Top of the 7th. He'll step off the back again. Austin Roberts in control of the ball game. Out of the set position. He'll check second. Checks it again. Here's the pitch. Squaring the bunt. Squares the bunt. Fouls it back to the screen. DJ Gilkey. Count goes 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Take that back, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. DJ Gilkey. Pitching from the stretch, peering in, looking at signals. Now the set position, checks second. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Open stance. Left-handed batter's box. Out the stretch, now the set. Check second. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Second base. 4, 6. And they're safe at first base. Got the 4-6. Peyton Houchin at second base flipped it to Carson Wagner. And beating it out there at first base was DJ Gilkey. So runners on the corners for the Knights. Runners on the corners, 1 out. And next batter in the lineup for the Knights, number 3, Jackson Kane. They're going to call timeout. Coach Burton going to walk out. Talk with his infield at the pitcher's mound. And we'll see what they decide to do. So we'll mention this game is also in part being brought to you by Discount Copies. Discount Copies conveniently located at the west edge of Noblesville, Indiana. That's 46062, just behind Pizza Hut and next to Bowl 32 along State Road 32. At Discount Copies, they provide setup services where you can turn your artwork into things such as note cards, notepads, prints, and calendars. And it's never too early to think about personalized Christmas cards, posters, and oversized printing. Also available. And if you're planning a wedding, they can print all of your necessary needs. You can reach Discount Copies by phone 317-773-8783. That's 317-773-8783. Or by email, discountcopies96@gmail.com. So the meeting at the mound is breaking up. They're going to go back to their normal positions. Coach Jake Burton going to walk off the diamond. Stepping into bat, going to be number 3, Jackson Kane. Runners at first and third base, 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. Stepping back in the rubber, Austin Roberts. Peering in, looking at signals. Checks first base, out of the set position. Checks third. First pitch to Kane. Swing and a miss. So no balls, 1 strike. Jackson Kane looking for signals. Signals given. He'll step back in. Stepping back in the rubber, Austin Roberts peers in, looks at signals. Now out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Short hops the glove. Good stop. Backhand. Aiden Holly, catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson Kane Going to step back in. Aiden Holly stands up, pulls his mask up, gives some instructions. Back behind the dish. Working from a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch finishes outside. 2-1 count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Top of the 7th inning, 1 out. Knights batting with 2 aboard on the corners. Working from a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Might have been an off-speed pitch right there. 2-2 count to Kane. Home plate umpires wanting Jackson Kane to stay around home plates. He's getting a little bit far away from home plate. They're trying to keep the game moving along. Working from a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. So the Knights have 2 outs. Here in the top of the 7th, runners at first and third base. Next batter going to step in. It's going to be number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Van Kirk, left fielder. Steps in, straightaway stance. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. He'll step off the back, does Roberts. He'll reset. And then looks like Holly and Roberts having communication right there. He'll step back in the rubber. Looks over at first base, out of the set now. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. He drives it into right field over second base. Run comes in to score. And then the runner at first base comes around running for Gus Sandberg. Right there is number 20, Ali Bourdonnais. 5'7", 160, scores the run. And we'll mention 41, Brennan Van Kirk, with a base hit to right and an RBI. So Coach Jake Burton comes out, shakes the hand of Austin Roberts, and he gives him the baseball. He's going to bring in another pitcher. And baseball here on a Tuesday, they're going to get some warm-up tosses. They're going to go with another right-handed pitcher. So get some warm-up tosses right there. They're going to go with Wagner. So number 6, captain of the team, Carson Wagner, a junior class member, as mentioned, listed as an infielder, a catcher, and a right-handed pitcher. More of an infielder, but I will mention entering this ball game, he has 1 1/3 innings. This is appearance number 2. The Indians have played 3 ball games. Getting some pitches right there. And then Aiden Holly. And we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll mention this game is also in parts being brought to you by Honey Creek Resort. What a beautiful place to be. Plan your vacation or maybe a weekend getaway. Honey Creek Resort, with 840 acres of fantastic nature, fun, and recreation adventures, are only 1-day drive away. Honey Creek Resort in southern Iowa, where fellow Hoosiers Beth and Terry Henderson have an amazing lodge and cabins with fabulous fishing, boating, golfing, horse carriages, and much more. Truly amazing adventures and hospitality await you. You can find them on honeycreekresort.com. Stepping into bat for the Knights, Adriano. Working out a stretch, now the set. Here comes a pitch from Wagner. Outside edge, strike called. 28, Tatum Adriano steps back in. 0-1 count. Working out a stretch, now the set. Wagner, here's the pitch. Knee high, strike called. Right across the dish. Count goes 0-2. Number 6, Carson Wagner comes over from shortstop to pitch. Short relief. Strike outside edge. Strike called, and he'll go down on strikes. And the Knights are out of the inning. They leave 2 aboard in the 7th. And the Knights do come up with 1 run. It's a 6-3 contest. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Twin Lakes Indians will bat in the bottom half. And we do thank you for tuning in. And as they play some Ozzy Osbourne here at Twin Lakes High School. So Ozzy Osbourne, I tell you what, that guy has an incredible voice. Incredible. And we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll mention today's contest is in part being brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, family owned and operated since 1955. You can increase your yield. Tractors, combines, corn pickers, lawn mowers, etc. Genuine John Deere equipment. New and used equipment available. Extraordinarily the best in the business. Reynolds, visit them at their Atlanta, Indiana location. Their Atlanta, Indiana location located at 1451 East 276th Street, Atlanta, Indiana. 2 miles, just 2 miles south of 296th Street, which is the Tipton-Hamilton County line. And I will also mention Reynolds Farm Equipment, 5 locations. You can reach them by dialing 800-333-6947. That's 800-333-6947. You can reach their Atlanta store by dialing 317-758-4116. Stepping into bat for Twin Lakes, number 10, Jed Gorton. Jed Gorton, right fielder. A little bit of an open stance on the pitcher's rubber is still Lucas Gerke. Here comes the first pitch. Pop one up. Playable on the infield and be called for by the shortstop. Stapleton will catch it on the second base side on the infield for the first out. So 1 out here, bottom of the 7th. Next batter going to step in. 9-hitter, where's number 9? Josh Crowell. Josh Crowell, left fielder. Here's comes the first pitch to Crowell from Gerke. High for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. He'll step back in. Peering over the glove, Gerke. Here's the wind and the pitch. They call it a strike. Right there above the plate, strike called. Count goes 1-1. Working from the windup. Here's the pitch to Crowell. High for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here comes a wind and the pitch. Pop one up on the infield. Going to be called for by the second baseman. Alex Schumer makes the catch. So 2 outs now batting for Twin Lakes. He's the 1-hitter. That's Cooper Dold. As mentioned, Cooper Dold started the game off. First pitch double to center field. He'll step in. Right-handed batter. Here comes the pitch from Gerke. Square to bunt. Bunt just foul. Third baseline. He'll jog back as he made it clear to first base. So it would have been a bunt single. Just foul. Third baseline. Cooper Dold picks up the bat. Right-handed batter. He's going to step in. Tap the plate. Working from the windup. Peering over the glove. Lucas Gerke. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Just missed inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peering over the glove. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Outside of ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cooper Dold. Cooper Dold steps in. Peering over the glove. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Gerke. Going to call it a strike. He checked his swing. Thought it might have been outside. Strike called. 2-2 count. Peering over the glove. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Going to be a ground ball. Shortstop. Fielded by Mikey Stapleton. He'll throw across the diamond. DJ Gilkey. He'll get the 3rd out, and that will complete today's ball game. We'll mention Knights and the Indians will play again tomorrow. They'll play tomorrow 6 o'clock at Central Catholic. Tonight's ball game ends with a score 6-3. Knights get the win tomorrow night. Could be a different day. It will be. And we thank you for tuning in And we thank my wife back home for the effort she did. I tell you what, she's good with putting me in sports, and I appreciate her. And we'll also thank audiosportsonline.net. And we do thank you for listening. Thank our support sponsors. Until tomorrow, we'll mention Knights and the Indians, 6 o'clock. We thank you for tuning in. And no matter if you're home or away, if you're doing the teaching and the learning, don't let him go. Keep the fire burning.